Let's get back to Amy inside Studio 1A. Amy?
All right, Lester, thank you. And we want to begin with some new fears at Seaworld. It's been more than a year since a killer whale took the life of a trainer. And now, even though changes were made to increase safety, new revelations have surfaced revealing just how dangerous the animals are. NBC's Lilia Luciano reports.
This home video was taken just moments before Seaworld's Tilikum snatched, dragged, and drowned veteran whale trainer Dawn Brancheau. Her shocking death in 2010 shed light on just how dangerous killer whales can be. Tilikum isn't the only orca that has harmed trainers. Seaworld keeps detailed records or profiles that provide a history of their captive whales, including incidents of aggressive behavior. Some of those incidents, according to the profiles, show in 2006, Kasadka, a 34-year-old female orca at Seaworld San Diego, grabbed a trainer by the foot and held him under for several moments. 18-year-old Kai's profile says in 2004, he refused to allow a trainer to exit the pool, then proceeded to swim over the trainer, blocking any exit from the pool for 2 to 3 minutes. Another whale, Kayla, is reported to have come out at a guest in 1996. Then in 2006, with a trainer in water, Kayla lunged at him with her mouth open, contacting him and throwing him several feet. Thad Lasiniak, former animal curator at Seaworld, says the animal profiles were created to educate trainers and keep them safe.
For any trainer to say, I wasn't aware that they were dangerous, is absolute silliness.
Still, Samantha Berg, who trained whales in the early 90s and is a frequent critic of animals kept in captivity, believes the profiles downplay incidents with whales.
There's plenty of euphemisms, and the documents really do seem to sugarcoat what actually happened.
In a statement to NBC News, Seaworld says all trainers receive extensive training about the safety measures in effect before they begin working around these animals and have access to an extensive archive of information related to the development and behavior of whales, and that specific entries without this greater context cannot be used to draw meaningful conclusions. They add that the profiles are only part of a multi-layered safety protocol designed to deliver a safe working environment for our trainers. A federal investigation that followed Dawn Brancheau's death found Seaworld responsible for exposing its employees to drowning hazards while working with killer whales. Seaworld is now challenging those findings at a hearing later this month. Given how dangerous killer whales can be, the question is, could Dawn Brancheau's death have been prevented? For today, Lilia Luciano, NBC News, Miami.
Jeff Corwin is NBC's wildlife and science expert and author of 100 Heartbeats, The Race to Save Earth's Most Endangered Species. Jeff, good morning.
Good morning.
And I know you've spent some time with wild killer whales out in the ocean. How dangerous are they as a species?
Well, they're incredibly majestic. The first thing you witness when you see these creatures is their incredible size and their power. These are intelligent animals. They're cunning animals. These are creatures that are incredibly well adapted. But it's important we remember that there are very few examples of wild killer whales ever really displaying aggressive behavior towards human beings. So I think if you respect these animals and give them this space, we can share the same habitat. But, you know, they're not called seeing eye dog whales. They're called killer whales for a reason.
Right.
But they're incredible creatures.
One of the concerns that has come out of this is the records that need to be kept for trainers to know exactly what kind of whale they're dealing with and the type of history involved with that whale. How much do you need to know when you're working with these animals, about the animals specifically?
This information is incredibly important. Basically, these profiles provide a safe environment for the animals, for the trainers and the people that work with these animals, and the general public as a whole. But from my experience, and I've worked with aquariums around the world, in fact, I'm working with an aquarium right now in a big project, I've seen incredible detailed programs, everything from not only the behavior to the food these animals is really micromanaged. So there is a tremendous amount of husbandry and expertise that goes into maintaining these animals in a human care environment.
The whale that started all of this is Tilikum in Seaworld. Right. He's 30 years old, 12,000 pounds, and to date he's been involved in 3 human fatalities. And while the whale is not to blame for this specifically, there are questions about whether or not Tilikum should be in the presence of human beings. Is there something specific with this whale?
Well, they're individuals. Again, these are incredibly intelligent creatures. These are animals that are equal in intelligence and behavior and complexity to primates. So we have to be aware of that. Whenever we are in the presence of these creatures, we need to remember that these are a dynamic, complex species that require a tremendous amount of admiration and respect, but you can never forget what they are. They are powerful, wild animals.
And the Orlando Sentinel is reporting that some trainers are now afraid to get into the water with this whale and others with previous aggressive histories. If the trainers won't get in the water, is this the end of these types of whale shows? At a certain point, I can imagine it's going to be a difficult thing to continue.
Yeah, I don't know about that. Again, I work with many people that work with these animals in a human care environment. And the truth is, no one gets a draft notice in the mailbox that says you've been drafted to become a person who's going to work with these creatures. Many of these people, this is their lifelong passion. And they don't just step into a tank. They come in there with life experience, work experience, often an education in animal sciences and conservation. For these people, this is their dream. And they
know what they're getting into.
And they understand the risks.
All right, Jeff Corwin, we certainly appreciate it. Thanks so much. Let's head outside now to Bill Cairns for a check of the weather. Good morning, Bill.